What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming out and checking out today's video. Now, a lot of people always hear me talk about the good parts about Staten Island, but there are 5 things that people do hate about Staten Island, and we're gonna get to them right now. What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out today's video. My name is George S. Wonica. I am a local realtor right here in Staten Island, New York, and I have lived here my entire life. So I always know what the good parts about Staten Island are. However, there are 5 things that there are a lot of people that don't like about Staten Island, and we're gonna talk about them in this video. And you wanna make sure you stay to the end of the video to see the biggest thing that most people hate about Staten Island, New York. So without any further ado, let's get right into the 5 things that people hate about Staten Island, New York. And let's do number 5. The 5th most thing that people hate about Staten Island, New York, well, let's see. It's the traffic. Yep. Everybody complains about the traffic here on Staten Island, New York. And one of the things that you have to kind of understand if you want to move to Staten Island is traffic is a part of being here. The reason being is because, quite frankly, we have no other mass transit opportunities. Now, we do have buses, we do have the Staten Island Ferry. However, most people, the only way to get off of Staten Island, other than those 2 things, is by a car, and we have 4 bridges. So the fact is, you are going to have traffic in Staten Island. The biggest key, however, is knowing when to leave someplace and what times to avoid certain sections of Staten Island. And if you want a better idea of different times and different routes, because I've been living here so long, I kind of know what areas to stay away from at certain times and what areas to go, kind of like my back secrets. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, drop me a comment below and I'll try to get that out to you as quickly as humanly possible. But let's get to the next part about Staten Island that a lot of people just don't like. In some cases, because again, we are in a major metropolitan city, one of the things that people don't like is, well, quite frankly, we're not Manhattan. We are not like the other 5 boroughs, meaning convenience of getting to some places sometimes can be a little bit much, but that goes back to the traffic. So the convenience sometimes to the city makes it a little bit apprehensive for people to come over to Staten Island that might not want to go on a ferry boat ride, for lack of a better term. They can't get on a subway to get into the city. So sometimes the aspect to where Staten Island is in relation to other parts of the city is one of the things that sometimes people just don't like. Another thing that people do not like about Staten Island, I don't understand it. Well, that's not completely true. I kind of understand parts of it, is Staten Island's ability to still thrive even though the city kind of takes us for granted. And what I mean by that is Staten Island contributes a lot of money to the city's coffers. And one of the things that we talk about all the time, especially if you're from Staten Island, is how we are the forgotten borough. There are 5 boroughs, and Staten Island always feels like we get the short end of the stick in comparison to the other boroughs, especially when we are the ones that contribute a majority to those tax coffers. So that's one of the things that people hate about Staten Island is we consistently call ourselves the forgotten borough, but it is for very good reason, because a lot of the things and the decisions that are made come directly from the city and not from the people in Staten Island, which is why we have talked at numerous times throughout the course of our history about seceding from New York City, basically becoming its own city. And quite frankly, in my opinion, I think it's something that we need to do, strictly because the people from the city don't understand how the people from Staten Island think. With 2 completely different types of, whether it be political beliefs, whether it be ideological beliefs, whether it be just the difference between the city and Staten Island. We are diametrically different. So we should have a say in what goes on. And unfortunately, we don't. What's another thing, number 2 thing of Staten Island coming back that people just don't like? Well, the outside world doesn't like us, quite frankly, because we take care of ourselves. We're not dependent. I talked about being dependent on the city to get what we want in Staten Island. Well, Staten Island, for the most part, will take care of Staten Island. And I've said that in other videos as far as pros and cons of Staten Island. Staten Island takes care of Staten Island, whether you like us or whether you don't. We are always there trying to help out our fellow Staten Islanders. And unfortunately, a lot of people just don't like that. They want our money, but they don't like the fact that we don't want to give it to them because we'd rather take care of ourselves. So that's another thing that people don't like about Staten Island. And for the last thing that people don't want to like about Staten Island, you gotta stay tuned. We got one more thing to talk about why people just hate Staten Island. But at the end of the day, I am a local realtor right here in Staten Island, New York. I would love to tell you a little bit about about Staten Island. So if that's the case and you're interested about moving here, well, here's a couple things you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to either drop me an email, shoot me a text message, or hit me up on one of the social medias, and I will get back to you as quickly as humanly possible to try to tell you a little bit about why Staten Island is such a great place to live, work, and play. And now let's get into the final thing that most people hate about Staten Island. One of the biggest things that most people hate about Staten Island, quite frankly, is we are the most affordable borough out of the 5 boroughs. They don't like us talking about that because it means there's more people leaving them and coming to us because of our affordability. Now, again, because we are so affordable, that's part of the reason that traffic is continuing to get built up, our tax base continues to get built up, and Staten Island is just becoming more and more crowded. And old-time Staten Islanders don't like that and hate that, quite honestly, about Staten Island because we are the most affordable borough, because it's pulling more people in, and it's not giving off that suburb feeling that we've had throughout the course of their lives, as well as my life. That's one of the things that a lot of people have started to hate, that because we are the most affordable, it means we are the most attractive. So people were like, don't tell anybody about why it was so desirable. Well, that's part of the reason why. I want to thank you for checking out today's video. I hope you gained some knowledge about what things that people hate about Staten Island, New York. But as the expression goes, there's a lot more positives as opposed to negatives, but we're here to tell you all of that information to begin with. Before you get out of here and start doing that, there's one more thing I need you to do. I need you to hit that subscribe button below, give this video a like, and again, if there's a video that you want to see us do on Staten Island, New York, or about anything in general, then you got to do me a favor. You got to drop a comment below, and maybe your comment might be the next video that we do shoot. We're going to be shooting a lot more of these videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified right away once we do a new video. With that being said, make sure you do something nice for somebody you wouldn't normally do, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.